Hello, hello. Welcome back to the stream. I believe it's part 16. Something like that. Let's get everything started. Hello, MB. Um, Let me plug my Twitch channel in the YouTube chat, since the Twitch chat is the place to be. Okay, so last time we were here, we created a really simple login, sign up, and intake page, as well as define some user goals, at least very lightly. We did something else, I think. Oh, and we also redid all of the nutrients. So instead of being a string value in all of the maps, it's an int value, which then will loop back to the nutrient entries in the nutrient table. That way, in case we decide to play with anything in terms of units and names, nobody loses their previous meal history because I decided to mess around and I changed a string somewhere. So just a little bit of protection. So last time I promised we would take a look at building some charts. I figured a nice thing to start with up top would be first just a general, like, overall full day. These are your macros, calories, carbs, protein, fat, something like that. And then have like a little drop down that can expand it into a pie chart and show you like where you are in the day. And then to be able to open up the screen into a much larger graphing area. And then be able to do that also for, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack and whatnot. So I figure first we'll want the whole day accumulator thingy. I was considering putting it in the nutrition journal, which is this whole part right here, everything sort of below the date picker. But I think it should actually kind of exist on its own, because when we add an exercise, it'll sort of have that as a value in there too. So technically it's separate from the nutrition journal. So I think that's how we're going to play it. So what should be called something like this? We can be crazy and call it the day accumulator, like we were doing, until I can think of a better name. How about that? Come on. Macros. I really don't want to write this out by hand. Crazy? Yeah. The day accumulator sure is. Cool. All right. So, below here, we can throw in the day accumulator. And we'll also throw in a key value here. You know what? At this point, it should really just belong to the column, I think. Yeah, perfect. All right. So back to the day accumulator. For right now, let's just start with a row. And then we'll just say something like total. And I guess we could use our basic macro display, at least give it a shot. We may need to make a specific one for this. We don't need this. This isn't even the right parameters, so thanks for that. ChatGPT. Axis, this is horizontal. Actually, that should be, nope, vertical. Was the default one, so it does have to be horizontal. Total, that can be a constant. Now we need to define get do we want, so I have two options here. We could add up the nutrition total in this build method right here. Or we could actually let the nutrition controller calculate that, and so it's reusable everywhere. I guess we should do that because we'll probably end up needing it in other places. I think that makes sense to me. So what should we call it? Get dates, nutrition total. I suppose that's good, although we won't call it nutrition total, just get dates nutrition. I think that should be fine unless we use that somewhere else where we say, you know, total. It doesn't look like it. So this will return a map of doubles, of into doubles. Oh, and it should have been static, actually. My bad. Shouldn't have gotten rid of that. And we'll say that you can input a date. And if the date is nullable, it'll just default to the selected date. We grab all the meal slot instances. And ChatGPT almost had the right idea. I think our meal slot instance has a nutrition total. Yes, it does. And yeah, that would pretty much cut it. Yeah, that looks good to me, honestly. Oh, and we'll want to make it so that this is a named parameter. That way we don't actually have to include it everywhere. And I think these all add up. Yep, 12 on top of 4. Yep, looks good to me. Yeah. Mostly. It looks kind of garbage. So let's try and add some text scaling at least. So let's do final double calorie text scale. And then macro text scale, just because we do calories separately just for the flex. So let's move that in there. This was originally 0.9, and this was 0.8. And we'll want to define spacing. How about flex spacing and then something like macro spacing? Nope, not macro icon, macro spacing. Okay. And we will set these to nullable. And if we have no value, we'll just grab this. Okay, well, we're going to need to instance this value. Macro spacing. This dot macro spacing. And if we don't put anything here, it can just be 0. Yeah, we can go back to our day accumulator. Do like 1.2. Macro text scale, 1.2. Might be a little bit too big. Do 1.1. Okay. Some flex spacing. Let's do start with that. Although we'll probably want to double that value actually. And macro spacing can actually just be set to flex spacing. And we'll reload. Child equals child is not true. What? Is it because I did this? No. Duplicate global tree. Why would we have too many global trees? Global keys. Sorry, not global trees. Oh, I did this in an init state, and it should have been in did change dependencies. Whoops. nothing actually happens in a state. There we go. And total, we're going to want a similar text scale. And we'll center this. Trying to think of how I want the UI to really look here. Maybe we'll add like some sort of decoration around it. Get a border going. And we'll need an app color scheme. And it was pretty good about just giving that to me before. Let's do this. Let's go all the way down here. Static app color scheme of, and then a build context, and we'll return this right here. Now all we should have to do is call that, and we can replace this pretty well in everywhere we were using something like this. So why don't we... Wow, I was using this everywhere. Let's clean this up. This is a much nicer, I think, way of grabbing these, personally. And we'll even edit that over here in Mothball. To keep consistent. This is going to take a minute. Whoops. I just saved over. App color scheme of context. There we go. Almost done. Well, kind of. We actually have to go back and now correct all of the naming changes that I just made. Since a lot of this was originally called app colors, some were called app color scheme. What are you, ohming about? Oh, another thing. We should change our SDK environment. How so? Wow, I really, fucked this up, huh? Okay. I was not consistent in my naming. This is why we try and be consistent. I think at a couple points I was just taking what ChatGPT was Copilot was just auto recommending here. I'm sorry they're erasing you, but I don't particularly mind if you're not counted. It is what it is. I'll believe that you're there. Alright. That's finally fixed up. That took too long. Oh, I was doing this on the wrong screen. Sorry about that. You guys couldn't see any of that at all. There we go. And yes, you do deserve to be counted. I'm sorry, dear. Alright, let's try that again. Is my Twitch stream okay? It looks really messed up in my preview. Did buffer a bit? Okay. Because my preview is not loading. This is kind of weird. Oh, now it's fixed. Alright, whatever. Okay, we were working on this stuff. Cool, 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 cool. And we were trying to make this look okay. Maybe a little bit more padding is in order. I do. And let's take this and do the same. Well, we can ignore the padding for now. See how it looks. Okay. And we got to restore this value key here, which was the nutrition controller selected date, because that was broken. If I make these const, will they still update? No, right? Oh, they do. Even though they're const? Because the column rebuilds? Sweet. Okay, cool. It's good to know. Spacing. Do another little bit like that. And let's add the tiniest little bit of horizontal padding because I don't like it when things just push up really, really close to the edges. Yeah. And let's even add a divider here. Reload. Oh. Tell the column to take up as little size as possible. And this one can stretch across the screen to denote that it's different. And our padding should have actually been here. We didn't need that. We'll also add some vertical padding. Nice. Let's make the icons a little bit bigger. What do you say? The day accumulator in our basic macro display. Text scale, macro icon scale. How about just icon scale? Since it doesn't matter. This will be the same. Sorry, what about the font? I missed it. Icon scale 1.2. The font next to the icons needs to be bigger too if you make the icons bigger. Like the counts? You think so? Oh yeah, no, I was just referring to the just messing with the top one. Okay. um. Hey, MB, are you cool if I turn on the AC because it's hot in here? Sure. Oh, and our text box is scrolling. Sure, keeper. Moving on. Make this one line. Alright, and this kind of nicely expands out. Cool. Now moving on here, we're going to need to make this into, I think I call it an expansion panel. Expansion panel? Is this a thing? Is this mine? No, this is something that they make, and I like it with the builder, right? Expansion panel list builder. Am I gonna have to just make my own expansion panel builder? Because that kind of sucks. It's not the hardest thing to do. Oh, this isn't even a widget. Because it belongs in the expansion panel list. Alright, so we'll just do... We'll make a lone expansion builder. I guess we can make it down here. So this is stateful. Yeah, we'll just expansion panel builder. Okay. And so it will take a header. It will take a body builder function. We'll pass in a build context. Body builder. And not a column. There's another thing that we use, the animated crossfade. Cool. And then bool is expanded. So we do... It was actually a column. Inkwell. Correct-ish. Incorrect on the padding here. Body builder. Oh, we call it child builder. Well, body builder makes more sense in this case because it's specifically a body. Okay, and then we'll test it out, and if this works, we'll throw it into mothball. Okay, this is a header. And then we need our bodybuilder, which for right now can just be a placeholder. Cool, though I guess this padding now belongs to the row. Yeah. And so we can turn this now into a material, which is a little bit more cost efficient than a straight up container. And we need side, border side. And the background color for these should always be was it canvas color? Is that what it's using? Canvas color? Yeah, so canvas color should always be this. Okay, now we don't have to worry about that anymore. And we'll also want to do some clip behavior. Actually, material type. Yeah, I guess it should be really realistically transparent anyway. Okay. Let's also include a void function on expanded bool expanded, then widget on call is expanded. Actually, I think I prefer to call them expansion callback. Oh, excuse me, let me take a drink. It's hard talking all the time. And how about we also do a separator, which separator builder, which takes in another build context. This doesn't have to happen. I spelled separator wrong. I actually do that a lot. Separate is one of my like Achilles heels when it comes to spelling. Don't know why. What's the problem? Oh, never mind. This has to return a widget though. There we go. And is expanded. Is this allowed? Oh, that's such a cool syntax. That's awesome. I love Flutter. It's so good. And separator builder const divisor. Why didn't that work? If is expanded, call separator builder, call dynamic. That should return a widget if the widget is not null. What am I missing? What if I make it like really tall? That doesn't do anything. Does the syntax secretly not work and I was incorrect? No, doesn't appear to be appearing whatsoever. Let's get rid of that. If I just put in a divider like normal, will it appear? No. If I say it has a thickness of 2, a height of 2, will then it appear? And a color of red? No. But why? I feel like I have no idea why this isn't working. Why wouldn't this work? Is there... Oh. Of course. Sometimes VS Code will auto-import something that it really shouldn't. And then it yells at me, and I didn't have the debug console open for whatever reason, because I think I was doing a Flutter pubget earlier. And now it looks like it works pretty well. Maybe all the way here we'll wrap this in an expanded and add one of those icons. This should be app color scheme dot of context text color, probably base text. Yeah, they'll want a tiny bit of padding on the side there. We'll do sizing get width by percentage. Yep, that looks a little bit cleaner to me. Although we could probably even get away with being that close to the wall. Okay, so we'll do icon padding, icon side padding. And to be extra efficient for no reason, we'll throw that into to change dependencies. Remove this. We really wish it wouldn't keep adding the to-dos. And the macros. I wasn't gonna not implement the widget when I started. And now we can reload to make that error go away and pull this into mothball. And so expansion panel builder .dart. Throw that all into here. App color scheme, mothball. This needs a Flutter pub get because while it was off screen, I updated the SDK version. I don't think this is even used anymore. Is it? Maybe because it's a package it does? Whatever. And we gotta export it. from here. Export. There we go. Okay. And if we pull that back in, there we have it. Okay, and everything works. Okay. If this is blank, we may wish to add in a bunch of zeros. That way it at least just shows 0 at the total for everything. I think that would probably be a smart move. So let's bring this out here. And we'll do this. How about macro calories index +1. How about we actually loop through here? Do it this way. Yeah, that should have been a for loop. Yeah, now we get zeros. Perfect. Sweet. Going pretty well. And everything looks a little bit less crappy now too, with the nice bordering. I think. Personally. Okay, now we wanted to make that chart we were talking about. This one is gonna suck. Yeah, it's gonna suck. So we'll do stateless widget, and we'll call it total pie chart. Day total pie chart. How about that? Day total pie chart, and this can no longer be called day accumulator. This will be called day total display. I think that's a much better name than day accumulator. Okay, and when you pull this down, I want to show you a fancy pie chart. So let's go back to FL charts. And I showed this off a little bit in the last, if you want to call it an episode, that this was the package we were going to end up using. And I still think that's the case, just so that we can make some good progress. Wait, why is 1.0? What made this 1.0? What's special? Anything? Usually a 1.0 release is pretty important. I don't see any sort of change log anywhere. Shout out to this guy for maintaining the package. Well, it'd be nice to know what the 1.0 release was for, but I guess we won't know. Doesn't matter. We can still use it. So we'll add it to our project. Added a bunch of stuff. Nope, just two things. Equitable. What's this package? Fancy. Being able to compare objects in Dart often avoids. Oh, okay. So it just allows you to. Yeah, all right. Not important. Oh, I got rid of the FL chart. Sorry. We need the docs. Docs. Pie chart. Okay. So. Guess we'll just put them side by side for now. You won't be able to see a good part of it as it will be eclipsed by my emulator, but hopefully I'll try and keep what I'm reading a little bit below where I imagine the box to be. Anyway, so let's add a pie chart. Okay, and then we'll want some pie chart data. Which comes with some sections. Those sections will be our instances. So let's grab nutrition controller, get meal slot instances. Oh, no. That's not what it was. I'm sorry. We gotta pass in this dates nutrition page over here. That's what I wanted. Nutrition. Hey, how's it going, Ruben? AVIX? I think that's Ruben AVIX. Thanks for joining. Oops. Let's pull this out. Almost. Rubenavix? Rubenavix. Is it like said all at once? Sorry. There we go. Rubenavix. Nice. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Okay, and let's take our nutrition map, entries map. Here we go. Nutrition entry. It's about 6, so we'll go with evening. It's gone pretty well. We haven't been streaming for too long. I got off work about an hour ago, and now we're just going through some nice pie chart stuff. How are you? I hope well. Nutrient ID. And we'll want to go to the nutrient controller, grab nutrient ID map, nutrient ID. Oh, I heard about that, that festival. Well, I heard that it was on fire. I guess I don't know anything else about it other than that the stage was on fire. Which frankly was a little bit funny. But, glad they, I suppose, got it working again. Yeah, they fixed it. They put out the fire. Cool, cool. Let's bring out the macro, because I imagine we'll be using that more in a couple places. And title, I don't know, is the title what shows in the section? Yeah. I assume it's live music, so well, there are a couple of good songs, that you could play doing that, like Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." That would be amusing to see while the world burns around him. I don't know. Do I have to define a title? I'd rather not, just so that we can get started with something here. And nothing's displaying what's going on. Size is infinite. Sure is. They have it on YouTube Live. Probably. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I gotta turn back on my music. Thank you. YouTube, for whatever reason, likes to kill my playlists after every, 45 minutes. Ask me if I'm still listening. But for your thing, I'd play it, but I don't want to get copyright striked. Sorry. Actually, so I use video game music OSTs as, an easy way to have background music without getting in trouble. I used a song from Honkai Star Rail, but this one guy, he calls himself a lo-fi artist, sampled heavily the Herta's Office song from Honkai Star Rail, and YouTube flagged me that I was using that lo-fi song and copyrighted one of my VODs. So that was annoying. But whatever. Yeah. I was not pleased. What can you do? Let's add a box constraints. Max height. Sorry, oops, constrained box. I always forget that the constrained box then gets the box constraints. My bad. That's probably a bit too big. Even that's really too big, but at least it'll give us a clear viewing while we're working. Can you change the text style? Yes, you can. So the color that we want needs to display properly on the background. Really? Look, this was a no-name guy. I looked at, his Twitter because, I considered angrily messaging him about copyright striking my video. He has 20 followers, so I left them alone. I've heard actually some other people complaining about it. So if you I don't want to promote him, but like his name is Lo-Fi Zoo, HSR. Other people have had the same thing. So it's not just me. Color, text color, color utils, get text color, color. And we only want this if color itself is not null. Wow, ChatGPT. GitHub Copilot, you just threw me everywhere, didn't you? Okay, cool. And that lets it be white, where it's a little bit more helpful, and then black. I've actually not really tried Claude too much. I use ChatGPT for most things, if only because it also, at least I don't know if Claude does this now, but it didn't have the image generation at the time, and it was kind of fun sending stupid things to my friends, and I kind of don't want to pay for multiple AI services. And my job pays for GitHub Copilot in my VS Code instances, at least. And they're probably fine with me using it personally, since there's no quota or anything. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I use GitHub Copilot. You'll see it up here. It's pretty good. But it, like, you can see it's recommending me to add a radius. But, well, I'm sure it'd be fine. But it's pretty good. But it does kind of throw you around sometimes, which is kind of annoying. Just from the right side of the circle, how much it should occupy. I want the pie chart to take up like the whole center area. I think it's a little bit ugly here with this gaping hole in the center. How do I do that? Center space radius, free space in the middle of the set if you want it to be calculated according to view size. Okay, so center space radius. Okay. Well, that's not great. Can I change like the whole radius? What's section space? Oh, no. It's ugly. What if I wrap this in and expanded? Will you take up the whole thing? Nope. What about a fitted box? And we do a fit, and we box fit, and contain? Fill? Fit height? Scale down? Okay. Is it here that I defined it? Ah, there it is. Okay, so this, I guess I want double infinity. Nope. Nope. Oh, it's a stupid bot. Get rid of this guy. Banned. Now I gotta reset my Twitch overlay. That's annoying. I gotta make it so that this resets after a ban, so I don't have to do that manually every time. Because I don't want their like stupid ad staying on the screen for free advertisement. It's stupid. Alright, so title position to have your desired design. Oh, you can block terms? Cool. I have a great mod. So we have... I guess really what I need is the render box of this context, but that won't be available immediately. Okay. Here we go. This is how we deal with it. So we will do a default radius, which is not nullable. We'll stick with their 40. Well, let's just do just radius. And then in the init override, we can do something stupid like widgets binding instance add post frame callback. Then calculate radius. We'll do a thing. Use rounded font. Like it meaning like a I you know what? Maybe we'll consider. Where's the fonts? Here. I assume we can filter by like rounded or something. Can it? Try that. Well, this isn't. I don't know about this one, man. Okay, this one's better. What about Poppins? Oh. I'm not quite sure that these are quite the glyphs that I need. Oh, okay. It does have phonetic, the Phoenician alphabet. Then I'll go back and try can it. Total calories. That looks pretty good. Is there a regular over here? Total calories. It's not bad. Redux Pro. Man, you know your fonts. Oh, I like this one. Okay, so Redux is the top contender. And let's try Lado again. Lado. I like Lado. Lado or Redux? Let's do side by side. Take a vote. Oh, these are icons. Whoops. Redux. Okay, so if I don't have italics, that's a bit of an issue. Alright, so it seems like it's Lado it is. Oh, and sorry, we never looked at Poppins. Let's look at Poppins. Yeah, it looks good. I don't know. I tend not to mix and match fonts. In a lot of my apps, it's just one font, but I quite like this Lotto one. Let me write it down, and we'll come back to it at some other point. Can I just get rid of this stuff? Yeah. I'll write it down. Fonts. Lado. There we go. Thank you for the suggestion. Sorry. Thank you for the suggestion. Anyway, these pie charts here. What was I doing? I was calculating the radius based on not the screen height, but a little touch from Spain. Oh, cool. You know, we're getting a surprising amount of European viewers are interested in Flutter content. I don't quite know why, but thank you for coming all the way from Spain. I live in America, but I've been to Spain. Long time ago. I saw your pretty gecko thing. Spain gecko statue. You know what I'm talking about? It's huge. Yeah, this thing. The Trencadis? Trencadis? Sorry, I know I'm butchering it. It was pretty cool. Cool. What was I up to? Right, still trying to work on getting the key here. I suppose. I know what height we're going to have because I defined that up here, but I need to know which is longer, the width or the height. And I'd rather get that just via the context. Can I tell ChatGPT to get the render box? Thank you. Couldn't remember how to grab that myself. Render box, size. If size is null, we're just gonna return And I think you can get shortest side. And we'll do set state radius equals shortest side. Try that out. Okay, not quite that far. That does make sense, but not quite that far. Not what I wanted. Here. Okay, now it is actually filling up the whole thing, but that's still too far. Let's try a third. Sorry, it didn't. Yeah. It would be cool if I could have the text is sort of getting cut off depending on how small it is. It would be cool if I could get it where it kind of points a line to whatever it is. I guess I don't need the text there if we just put a nice little legend on the right hand side. That might be the way to do it. Well, let's try this. Adaptive icon. Let's just make this white for the moment. Wow, that looks terrible. Okay. I thought I almost had a decent idea. I did not. Alright, let's just make it so that there's no title. Oops, sorry. There we go. And we'll just put a legend on the right hand side. How about that? They don't define those for you, correct? So row, this can take up everything that it can. Now actually, should we change this? Yeah, we're gonna need the expanded key. We'll define that as final for now. Expanded key, current context. There we go. Okay, because right now it will be the entire area, but not so much anymore. Let's do widget, nutrition, entries, map, nutrient entry. We should actually only look at the macros. So let's remove where, whoops, god damn it. Nutrient ID. We actually don't care about this. Nutrient is macro. Let's call it get macro. It's a bad name. It's macro. It implies a return Boolean, which is not what it does. Okay, so we remove these, remove that. The only other... This is built on demand, so we don't have to worry about making a separate map that we're overwriting something. And now it should just be our happy macros instead of things like sodium and other stuff appearing. So let's do this again. You know what? This is good enough. Nutrient name to title case. I guess this needs to list. There we go. That'll make it stop yelling. We know that this will always return something because we specifically removed everyone that wouldn't. Macro, nope, it's nutrient actually. Nutrient default unit. We'll just use that for now. That looks ugly. That's okay. Then this will be expanded as well. I don't need this documentation anymore. And let's turn that into an icon. And we'll do macro info icons macro with the macro color. This is always guaranteed to return a color. We'll keep that white actually, because then it's hard to read. Okay, and where did our pie chart go? It's completely gone. That's not good. And also, where did our stuff go? Was I too aggressive on my remove? Is that what happened? There we go. Nice. And let's put this in the center. Oh, main axis center. My bad. There it was. No? Is there a typo somewhere? Something isn't... There it is. Okay. Looks pretty ugly so far, but making progress. Let's just do like 4 pixels on the edge, 8 pixels on the edge. Overflowed, okay. Actually, do we even need this now that I've defined a proper... Nope. Okay. We'll add some spacing here. Just like 4. Actually, a better way to do it is to add a space in the front here. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about screen DPI. Okay. Worth mentioning that now that we've accomplished all of this, our pie chart doesn't make any sense at all. There is no reason why you'd want a pie chart comparing these values. I realized that about halfway through making it, but I kind of kept my mouth shut because there are some things we can still do with this. So if we pull out calories, it might be cool to wrap it around the rest of the other ones. And so it's more like the calories are, well, I tried. More like the calories are a representation of your distribution of protein, carbs, and fat. Because right now, this is bad. Also, it seems that I, once again, remade what is basically just this down here, isn't it? So no, it's different. It's different, kind of. It's not different. All right. Macro axis, vertical. So let's call this calorie axis, I guess. Spell calorie wrong. Calorie, not calorie. And macro axis. And actually, this is going to default to horizontal. And this is now a flex with an axis direction, macro axis. And I guess we also have to define a calorie alignment. I wrote calorie again. I also can't. Man, I can't fucking spell today. Corollary alignment, cross-axis alignment. Let's do start. There we go. And we'll add some of those nice text scales. Let's do 1 point. Well, let's grab what we had up top, right? There we go. The calorie feels smaller than everything else. Am I crazy? I added the scale. Let's make this neater. There we go. Okay, now we didn't duplicate too much code. Ignoring the whole part of, once again, this stuff doesn't make any sense. But we'll fix that. We'll fix that. I have an idea. Let's make a map. We'll do map of this. That way it's separate. We will remove. We didn't need to call this nutrition. That was stupid. Macros. And macros dot remove. Nutrition controller. Macro ID map, macro calories. Then we get calories. Okay. Okay. And now behind this pie chart, we're going to very sneakily add another pie chart. Wow. So we'll need some data, pie chart data. Yep, calories. And then we'll need another one for target calories. And we'll just do for now target calories equals 2,000 to do grab from user goals. And now we have this crazy thing back here. But what I want it to look more like is this guy. Let's see if actually in here they demonstrate how to do that. Let's mute him because I don't actually care what he has to say. And it doesn't really seem like they're gonna do that. Okay. I lost that little bit of documentation I was working on. Where was I? Nope, not. Looking up Barcelona. The hell does this curve do? When you change the chart state, it animates. You can control the animation. Oh, okay. And we want this to be app color scheme of context, not base text, but disabled. And I suppose really this is a it's actually a calories percentage. And we should clamp that between 0 and 1. We can leave that up there. So this is our calories percentage, and then this is 1 minus calories percentage. Hold on, what's our calorie percentage? 2.6. Okay. I thought that was supposed to be clamped. There we go. But let's say our calories are something more reasonable, like 1,000. Cool, halfway. I would prefer this to start. Well, not divide it in half horizontally, but more like vertically. Start degree offset 0. 90. Other way. Yeah, okay. Negative 90. That way it sort of fills up from the top, I think. And now we just gotta get rid of all that inside space. So I actually don't. Why? There we go. Okay. I was surprised that this radius, given that it's exactly the same as the other one, would have such a problem here. So anyway, this should probably pop off like, we'll say 10, just for now. Let's do macro radius and then double calorie radius, which is will default to 10, but really, it's... I'm okay with that being a fourth, I suppose. Maybe a fifth. Did I not actually do it? That would explain it. Okay. And the border side here, it's not quite what I want. I want to emulate the like cool rounding here, but I'm not sure how that's done. Gradient? This is a color gradient, isn't it? Yeah, we don't want that. Center space color border data. No. It looked almost like that was going to be it. Man, how did they do it? Yeah, I need radius though. In their own... Is this even from this actual thing? Or did they just take like a picture of a pie chart from the internet? Because nowhere in the actual documentation does it have rounding. Oh, so what the hell is a radar chart? Oh, that's awesome. We're going to totally use that. Uh, there's also a show title flag. I don't actually have to set it to a width of 0 like an idiot. There we go. Well, what a pickle. I also don't know what title sunbeam layout is. What is that? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, the more I look through this, the more I think this is not real. Let me ask ChatGPT just in case. In FL chart, is there a way to round the pie chart sections like in this image? Absolutely scan. They want me to make my own thing. What is this? Ooh. What do you mean pricing? This isn't free? I can just download it. Disclaimer, this is a commercial package. To use this package or a free community license. What does that mean? Who is eligible? Less than 1 million in annual gross revenue. That won't be us. Whoops. Won't be us. All right. You gotta have big dreams. Or else why go to sleep? Alright. I guess we're leaving it like this for now. Man, that's so stupid. Why would he put that in the fucking thumbnail if you can't actually even make up? Yeah. That's a good one. Wow, that bugs the shit out of me. Gotta say. Okay then. Center radius. Let's just add like a tiny bit of padding. That way we get that nice little black edge, which is pretty cool. All right. How does this look to you so far? Just, you know, loosely. A bit busy. We could also benefit from the flex spacing. but heard you on the bit busy. Please highlight the whole line instead of ChatGPT interrupting me. Thank you. Late, double, flex spacing. These don't have to be late. It's okay. Flex spacing, macro facing, flex spacing. Okay, cool. I forget that I'm dealing with a radius, and so everything that I have to do, I have to think half. But all right, let's try and mess with the touch data, because then we might be able to do something pretty cool. Also, what does this do? Okay, nothing. Well, it does do something, but I just don't care. Pi touch data. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm not talking. I'm thinking about where I want to go from here. Um, I like this idea of the calorie thing. It would be pretty cool if there were other ones for the other stuff. But uh, also worth mentioning that these should probably be respective of calories. So let's go ahead and turn these into calories. So for every macro entry in macros.entries, we will want the nutrient ID, get the nutrient. This has to exist. And let's look at new macro info. To calories. And then we get the macro from there. And then macros, nutrient ID equals this. Okay. This can't be null. Which it isn't. 2 calories. And then grams. And then I guess this one's just grams. 2 calories, macro, grams. There we go. Now this is the actual distribution of your calories. Which is kind of neat, I guess. Maybe we'll even do, okay, so this is calorie percentage, remaining percentage, which could be 0. Then we'll do overflow calories. Percentage. Right. And only then will we calculate this. Then overflow. And we'll do that. And then if I remove 1,000, it's impossible to tell, but we have overran our calories by a certain percentage. Color is red. Colors anything that I can see. Here we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. Do they have a 900? Yeah. You know what's a better idea? Mostly scrapping all of this. I thought of a better idea. And effectively replicating this over and over and over, but for each of them going across. I think that will actually end up better in the end. Okay, let's think. User goals. Daily nutrition. Okay. Yeah, I have a whole idea. All right. Whole idea. Got a whole idea. Let's just keep all of this around so that we can reference it. And we'll go macros, entries.map. Macro entry. To lists, scrollable false. Return pie chart. Pie chart data. Start offset, -90 sections. And effectively, we grab this again. Grab this again. We'll include the comment. That way we can uncomment. Okay. We'll get rid of target. Current overflow. Okay. Over here. And macro entry.value. And we need to get the macro here with the nutrient. With the nutrient ID. I swear this will look okay in a second. Macro. These are all not nullable. And row E. I didn't make row E in Mothball yet. Let's actually call it flex E. Stateless flex E returns a flex. this, and children. Children, and I think, how do you do the thing where you insert in the middle of? Well, just mapping it to expanded will work. Yeah. There we go. There we go. We could probably make this an expression body. Good enough, good enough. And export flex E. Flutter pub get. Flex E. Direction, axis horizontal. Okay. And in the middle of these, we will add this needs to be centered. Oh, let's do it this way. Current percentage times 100. I guess we still need to make sure its toString is fixed. 2, 1. Okay, and now we add that spacing, which we do over here. Spacing. We'll do main axis alignment, cross axis alignment, main axis size. Anything else? No. Okay. Go back here. Pull in those changes. Nice. Okay. How does that look now? You understand what I'm going for? Yeah. User goals. Daily nutrition. Nutrient ID. I agree. This is no longer a to-do, for it has been done. And target can be 0 if we don't know. We don't have anything, I suppose. here. Current. Shouldn't this be 1? And then 0, and then 0? Did I mess up? What's going on? Why is target still 2000? Oh, it's because I actually did settings. All right. Let's pretend it's not. Okay. Let's actually only calculate this stuff. If target isn't null, if target doesn't equal null, then we do that. Adaptive icon. These radii do anything anymore? Oh, yes they do. Let's just call it radius. This no longer exists. I guess that. And now let's pretend that target is null. That's not what I wanted. Else current percentage equals 1. I guess we'll pretend that there is always a goal for right now. Okay. And we'll do if overflow percentage is greater than that, we'll do overflow overflow percentage times 100%. Color red. And this needs to be expanded. Else current percentage then becomes target. Overflow. Hold on. I've confused myself. We'll be wrapping it up soon in about a minute anyway. I'm getting a little hungry. I need to know what all of this actually is. The end of the day. What are our values? So our overflow percentage is 1.6. So what's our current percentage? 2.6. So else our current percentage equals 1 and our overflow percentage equals minus that. Is that how the math should work? Nope. I'm trying to get the overflow part to actually look like it's 160% more. Right now it does absolutely not. And that's a problem. Gotcha. That will do it. Um, um, let's do it this way. Current string equals current string is fixed times 100 plus this, place with interpolation. And then I think we can actually get rid of this. Remove the column, remove the expanded. And color overflow percentage is greater than that. Otherwise, we leave it as app color scheme of base text. And we should pull this out. Throw it up top. App color scheme. Okay, how's that? That to me kind of actually makes some sense. That red is not it. Okay. How would you like the red to be, my dear? More brighter, less brighter, mega bright, mega light. Make it white? But that doesn't really imply that it's an overflow. Like, it's bad. Why white? Make it paler red. Okay. Oh, I can delete all this. Make it a paler red. Like this? Like this? Grayer red. Okay. How about that? Now more red. Okay. Would you like me to end the stream and you come down here and play with the little color picker? All right, ending the stream. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. We had a couple new people like Ruben Avix. That was pretty cool. Talked to some people from Spain. I don't know how YouTube ended up doing. Looks like not that great, but been a pleasure. See you next time.